My name is David Carlock. I am the founder and president of Machete Group. We've been around since 2006, and we're a real estate development and advisory platform. We had been monitoring Richmond for a while. We think it's an interesting market for a number of reasons. We had a longtime partner of ours had a peripheral involvement on the Navy Hill project and had called us about potentially providing some assistance on that development had it gone forward. Obviously it did not. But that coupled with some general market analysis that we had done that Richmond sort of came out the other end of that is what got us interested specifically in the market in the first place. We were aware of the Diamond District and the possibility that that would be redeveloped. And when the RFI was issued, we got to work assembling a team. And the approach we like to use is putting together the best of national. In other words, some folks who maybe come from someplace other than Richmond but have a perspective on how to execute these particular kinds of projects successfully, along with the best of local. So making sure that we're connected to partners and team members who have deep local roots and really robust market knowledge. So a couple of things I'll share. One is that we found, having worked on a number of projects that are arena or stadium anchored, that understanding how to plan properly around those kinds of venues is really important. And what I mean by that is that many developers understand how to play offense. So you have the Squirrels, they draw really well for a minor league baseball team that might be 400 and 450,000 people a year who are incremental to what the development might otherwise attract. They're coming for games. And so thinking about how to provide an enhanced experience to those guests is really important. They can have a meal before the game, they can buy a couple of drinks, they might make a weekend out of it and stay at the hotel, right? So capturing that incremental revenue is good for the development. What often gets overlooked and that we understand in detail is the importance of playing defense. What I mean by that is that you want to make sure that that game day or that game night experience is great, not just for the fan who's going to a Squirrels game or a VCU baseball game. It's also great for somebody who had no idea there was a game tonight and I just happen to live here, or I work here, or my partner and I are having dinner at date night, right? So making sure that traffic, circulation, security, safety, housekeeping, right, are all handled in a way that everybody has a good experience. That's really critically important, because if non-Squirrels and VCU baseball fans conclude that this isn't a fun place to be when there's a game happening, that's a pretty bad outcome for the project. And so getting those pieces right is consistent with the way that we've developed our plan and our vision for the overall Diamond District. The other things I will mention, so one is that we've proposed that the Arthur Ashe Center be renovated and repositioned. We've had some conversations with Richmond Public Schools. They are, they view the Arthur Ashe Center as an important amenity and venue for their activities. We also, know from a variety of sources that, there are at least some members of the Ashe family who would like to see that facility in better condition than it is today with Arthur Ashe's name on it. And we think that in addition to taking care of Richmond Public Schools, which is obviously important, that venue can serve the community much more broadly. And we think one of the most important elements here is that when you're developing 68 acres, right, that's not a half a block. That's not a block. That's not just real estate development. That's neighborhood development. And neighborhoods, really great neighborhoods, are open and accessible and inviting to everybody. And so having a meaningful community element there almost as a second anchor. So we have the stadium down in the southwest corner of the project. We have the Arthur Ashe Center in its current position up more on the northwest corner. Creates some nice polarity on the site, and it also makes it clear that from an entertainment standpoint and from a community utilization standpoint, this isn't just a place where there are baseball games, right? There are a variety of other activities that are community serving that will occur here. We think about our public spaces the same way. How do you actively program all the green spaces that are scattered throughout the project so that they're properly set up for, whether it's chess club or it's spoken word, or it's a cooking festival or a wine festival or it's live music or whatever it may be, that we're programming it so that this becomes a place where people feel like there's always something interesting happening. Beyond that, I would say, from a programmatic standpoint, we have a meaningful affordable housing component here. That's an issue in every significant market around the country. Richmond is no exception. That's one of the reasons why we brought Enterprise in, and we brought Gilbane Development Company in, because of their expertise in that space, not just generally, but specifically to Virginia and to Richmond. And having a broad diversity of assets in the program. So baseball stadium, there's a hotel that's essentially integrated into the stadium. There's retail and dining, other entertainment uses. There's a variety of price points on residential, so both market rate as well as affordable and workforce. We think the Diamond District has an opportunity to be a significant office campus. And at a high level, the reason for that is that what's happened in that world, and this is a choppy time for a lot of verticals, but office is perhaps a particularly notable example of that, is there's been a real flight to quality. In other words, if you're an employer, and we've heard this 10 times in the last 12 months, I need to be competitive hiring 28-year-olds. And to the extent that office selection used to be about what's my rent and how many parking spaces do I get per 1,000 square feet of office, now I'm being asked, where's the dog park? Where's the food hall? Can I live near here? Is there micromobility on site? So your ability to go back to the idea of neighborhood development, to create a really vibrant and sort of authentic environment that becomes a 21st century office campus, that's what office users are looking for. And the scale of the Diamond District gives us an opportunity to do that, we think, very successfully.